Recently, the wave of layoffs and salary cuts in Beijing's state-owned enterprises has attracted widespread attention. A Beijing state-owned enterprise employee posted, "Is the wave of layoffs and salary cuts really coming in 2024? I thought it would just be a salary cut, but it turned out to be the minimum standard. The salary is $322 a month, and the salary saved in 3 months is only $980. But the rent is paid every quarter, which is $1,400. All my salary went into rent, and I was still $420 short and had to eat. My family and I were all panicked." The employee also said that some of his colleagues still needed to pay their mortgages, and their current income situation might make it impossible for them to continue to repay their loans. Industry analysts pointed out that the layoffs, salary cuts, and all employee marketing are nothing new. What's even more helpless is that in these state-owned enterprises, the monthly salary of most employees is only about $500, and even less at the county level. Many people felt the same way and talked about their own situation in the comment section. Some people said helplessly that their salary had been reduced to $336 a month. Now that they are in their 40s, where can they find a job? A blogger pointed out that the companies claim that layoffs and salary cuts are to reduce costs and increase work efficiency. In addition to layoffs, cost reduction is also reflected in the strict restrictions on the use of office supplies. Even a pen or a piece of paper has to be paid for by employees themselves. Even the potted plants in the office have disappeared. In the layoff plan of state-owned enterprises, those colleagues suddenly became ones left on the layoff list. Not only did they have to take on 2 or 3 times the original workload, but they also had to be prepared for the next wave of layoffs at any time. At the same time, companies began to set up many assessment tasks that were almost impossible to complete to deduct employee wages. If you find that a company's business is shrinking but profits are growing, then it's likely that part of the profit comes from fines for employees who do not complete tasks, and another part comes from the compensation saved after layoffs. The blogger pointed out that although many state-owned and central enterprises are famous, the wages of ordinary employees are very low. The monthly salary of most employees is only about $500 and even less than $500 in county-level agencies. However, the annual income of high-income leaders can easily reach tens of thousands of US dollars. In addition, all employee marketing has become the new work norm. Even if you are lucky enough to avoid layoffs and salary cuts, you cannot escape the responsibility of all employees for marketing. Whether you are an in-house or outsourced employee, a salesperson or not, you are all required to participate in sales. Selling financial management, collecting deposits, selling insurance, and even selling excavators. To make matters worse, bureaucracy and factionalism are intensifying within the business. Some leaders move their own people around, get promotions and salary increases, while those who really do good work are not reused. In such an environment, employees feel tired and helpless. It's worth noting that as a medical public services institution provided by the government, the operating situation of hospitals is not optimistic. A netizen said that his cousin works in a large hospital. Recently, she has always come home with a sad face. Her family thought she had received a pay cut again, but it was even worse. 1/3 of the hospital staff may be laid off, and she worries that she may be on the list. Netizens inquired about it and found that this was not an isolated case. The efficiency of many hospitals was declining, and salaries dropped again and again. However, they still couldn't survive, so they had to lay off employees. The situation is the same for enterprises. Netizens question that all industries have been in decline in recent years, but the hospital's business has been extremely prosperous, and it feels that revenue should not be affected. But why does such an important industry have to lay off employees? In addition, the kindergarten business cannot survive. Many kindergartens have reduced teachers' salaries and transferred them to other positions. If the teachers don't want to work, they must resign. This is a disguised form of forcing teachers to resign voluntarily so that the kindergarten can save a compensation fee. The number of newborns has dropped from 16 million in 2012 to more than 9 million in 2023. If you go to a normal school now, it takes 4 years for an undergraduate and 3 years for a master's degree. It will be difficult to find a job after graduation. Many kindergartens are closing now, and by the time you graduate, many elementary, junior high, and high schools will begin to close down. Many teachers will be laid off by then. Not only normal schools, but also all majors related to children must be chosen carefully. For example, pediatrics, infant and child management, and preschool education.
婴幼儿管理、学前教育。
A friend in the IT industry said that some companies will first pay employees the minimum wage to force them to resign. If that doesn't work, they will delay wages and force employees to resign. However, if you go to labor arbitration, the time will be delayed again and again, and you will never get a salary. Even hotel employees in Beijing said that the money they get now is only US $518, while a supervisor only gets US $700. Netizens from other places couldn't believe this situation. Why are wages so low in Beijing? It's embarrassing. Some bloggers said that the wave of layoffs has only just begun.
2024年
2024 may be the best year in the next 5 years because everyone is still dreaming about economic recovery. When the economy has to move towards internal circulation, it will be endless despair. The fundamental reason for layoffs is the economic downturn. Currently, the first to start layoffs are internet companies such as Tencent, Baidu, and others. The quarterly report shows that they have reduced costs and increased efficiency, and profits and cash flow are rebounding, but this is because they have made the same move, which is to lay off employees. They are mainly trying to preserve their profitable core business and cut off money-losing projects. Not only that, the second wave of layoffs will begin soon.
第二波的裁员已经慢慢的开始了。
The blogger gave an example of a once prosperous large factory in Hangzhou, but now it's changed. Highly paid middle and senior managers have become the first targets of layoffs. Why? Although these people have deep qualifications, their competitiveness is declining year by year. Young people are not only working harder, but their salaries are also low. The blogger mentioned a netizen and his wife who were originally employees of a large factory that everyone envied. They bought a house and a car. The two of them lost their jobs last year, were overwhelmed by their mortgage and car payments, and had 2 children to raise. Their lives suddenly fell from heaven to hell. China's economy continues to decline. Foreign capital has withdrawn one after another, and companies continue to close down. Shanghai, as the economic center, is not immune, and the unemployment rate is rising. On August 14th, a Weibo netizen mentioned in a post that the neighborhood committee of his community notified all those without formal jobs to register with the neighborhood committee. He wrote, "It seems that the unemployment situation in various districts and streets in Shanghai is serious. There are more and more idle people in society, and even neighborhood committees and village committees are busy." Some netizens complained that the neighborhood committee not only required registration, but also suggested that they give up receiving unemployment benefits or even help them stop it. This netizen responded confidently, "The unemployment benefits were paid by my employer when I was at work. Why don't you let me get it? What does it have to do with you?" Others said, SAIC Motor is laying off large-scale layoffs, and Shanghai should prepare for a wave of 40 and 50-year-olds to be re-employed. Others wonder, with so many people in Shanghai unemployed, why aren't Shanghainese employed as subway security inspectors? Unemployed people in their 40s and 50s are perfectly capable of doing the job. Why are outsiders now doing the job? According to Chinese law, unemployment insurance benefits are an important part of social insurance. Employees pay them while working, which can only be collected after they lose their jobs. This means that unemployment benefits are the protection that unemployed people deserve. However, this system also seems to have become less stable in the current economic environment. Although officials have been covering up the real unemployment data, there are many reports on social media of people being laid off, unemployed, and unable to find work. On August 15th, netizens lamented in a video that the unemployment rate in Shanghai is high.
现在的失业率是真的很高。
The unemployment rate is high now. I already have a lot of friends who are in their 30s or 40s. Suddenly, they are laid off by the company and cannot find a job for half a year. It's so common. Those who used to hold relatively high salaries and positions in the company have been laid off, and it's difficult to find jobs. They told me that the positions outside are fundamental positions and the salaries may be very low.
基础的岗位，然后薪资又很低。
Another netizen also shared his personal experience. Some netizens said that he's 35 years old. His monthly salary after tax was more than $4,200 US, and he also received a bonus of $28,000 US at the end of the year. Now I only get a salary of more than $1,400 US. When I joined the company, HR asked curiously why I would accept an offer with a low salary now. Netizens could only smile bitterly. The stories of other netizens are equally sad. A former algorithm engineer said that after being laid off, he could not find a job for 8 months and his salary was cut by more than half. Another woman who formerly worked for a state-owned securities company complained that the real unemployment rate in Shanghai was not what the official announced at all. After several friends lost their jobs, they all gathered in coffee shops during working hours and life became increasingly difficult. It's reported that the situation in Nanjing is not optimistic either. I told you that you may not believe the current situation in Nanjing. Many big companies are cutting salaries and laying off employees. Many small companies are also losing money and going bankrupt. Many street shops are just holding on, and very few people are making money. It's the same for office workers. They go to work every day, but their salary is not high. Many people keep using credit cards and take out a lot of loans. With this monthly salary, they can't repay the loan, even if they use it a little. Now, it's not that young people don't consume, they don't have money. Some people also say that if you look at the deposit data online, many of us are averaged into it. Nowadays, for young people, let alone savings, it's already good to have no debt. The employment situation in 2024 will be like a battle without gunpowder. No matter your industry, it will be difficult to stay out of it. It's reported that 400 million adult men in China have experienced a cliff drop in their income. Coupled with the rising prices, supporting a family has become increasingly difficult. The outside world has also noticed that many young people are setting up street stalls, which are no longer the exclusive preserve of the older generation. Nowadays, the streets are full of busy people born in the 1990s and 2000s. Setting up a stall has become the primary way for many young people to make a living. Kebabs and fried rice have become their daily routine. Moreover, many masters and doctoral graduates have opted to work with Didi to deliver food. When masters and doctoral students start delivering food, the job market is very severe. There are too many people majoring in computer science now. I can do everything now. I have run takeouts, delivered couriers, and worked as a security guard and waiter. Now I work 2 jobs, writing code and building websites for others, delivering during the day. A young man who just graduated said he would really collapse now. It's so difficult for college students to find jobs. Without family background support, are college students really unemployed upon graduation?
Today is
July 21st, 2024. It's been more than half a month since I left school. I rented a small single room outside, and the resumes I submit every day all came to nothing, with very few responses. I don't understand why companies that recruit new graduates require 1 to 2 years of work experience. How many college students have work experience right after graduation? I finally got an interview opportunity but was always rejected for various reasons. Lack of experience, mismatched majors, mismatched skills, and the competition being too fierce. He said these reasons are like a huge mountain, overwhelming him. An ordinary graduate like him is powerless. His expectations were repeatedly lowered, but he still couldn't find a suitable job. He said there were 6 people in their dormitory, and those classmates with good family backgrounds successfully found their ideal jobs through connections after graduation, but he was still running around. In general, the current economic situation in mainland China is indeed serious. Even US President Biden mentioned in an exclusive interview that China's economy is on the verge of collapse. He questioned China's global influence and reiterated that no leader would trade places with Xi Jinping. Biden pointed out that China's population is aging seriously, and its policies are xenophobic, which poses a major obstacle to economic growth. In addition, Biden defended the additional tariffs imposed on Chinese products last month, emphasizing that China cannot change market rules through government subsidies and dumping. He said the US hopes China can follow the same market rules. He also mentioned that China may try to interfere in the 2024 US presidential election to widen social divisions in the US and weaken criticism of China. He believes that such interference could impact US elections. Regarding China's economic prospects, current affairs commentator Zhang Jiadun believes China is about to face the largest debt crisis in history, similar to the 2008 global financial crisis. He pointed out that China's current economic model has dried up and the government is about to face the problem of repaying huge debts. However, despite Biden's pessimistic attitude towards China's economy, some economists still predict that China's economic growth will reach 5% in 2024.